Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items, and then I'll review the protocol for how the practice day press conferences will work. I'd ask that you please turn off or silence your cell phones, and a reminder that flash photography and videography are not permitted. We'll take questions for our student athletes first, followed by the head coach. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Emma will come around with the wireless microphone. Please state your name and your affiliation. We'll begin by welcoming West Virginia University. The Mountaineers advanced to the second round of the tournament by defeating Miami University yesterday, 82-54. We're pleased to be joined today by student athletes Gia Cook and Carter McCrae. Ladies, welcome. We'll open it up for questions for our student athletes, and we'll begin with Greg.
Greg Hunter, Blue and Gold News. So for both of you, but start with Carter, because the length of Kentucky sort of stands out when you see that. How does that impact what you do? You faced bigs between Wisconsin and here, but I don't know if their size is different. And then, Gia, how does that impact guards, too? So, Carter, start with you.
So it's definitely a thing, but I feel like it's nothing really new for us. And being in the Big 12 Conference, we've played against a lot of length with other teams, so just being cognizant of it, maybe using more shot fakes, and we know they have a couple shot blockers on their team, but we're pretty used to it. I think we'll be prepared.
How do guards have to impact that length?
Like playing against different guards or different bigs?
No, just, their length.
Okay, I don't think it's no crazy length, but when we have mismatches, we kind of, play to our strengths with that and take the advantage as, our goal with that. But, I think it's not no crazy height difference or anything with guards to me.
Cody?
Cody Nesper, Gold Blue Nation. If I'm not wrong, when you were at Maryland, you guys hosted?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you just compare and contrast the experiences? Obviously, then you didn't play as much as you did last night.
When I hosted at Maryland, it's definitely different from here. I don't think we sold out our arena, but it was the same experience, kind of just having everybody, all your fans here in Maryland, and then having all your fans here in West Virginia. I think it's just a cool experience to have. It's another type of team on your back that you have, a different energy and things like that. So the atmosphere was great, honestly.
Spencer?
Spencer Ripchick, Dominion Post. This is for either of you guys. How long did it take for you guys to come down after all the excitement yesterday and move on to the next game?
I think it was pretty quick. I think we just, knowing that we're going to second round, it's just okay, let's stay grounded, keep our head on our shoulders the right way, stay locked in, and just, get ready to play the next team. I think we want to go far, and we just want to keep dancing. So, just moving on. We definitely were excited to get past that game. But, we have more work to do. So I think we would just all locked back in and got ready for it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We both know we're not done yet, so the whole team knows that, and we just have bigger goals ahead, and we want to keep dancing. We want to keep playing in March.
Cody?
Carter, in the first half last night, Miami double and triple teamed you and Mimi in the post, and then in the second half, you guys were able to get a little more free. Just what did you change up? What did you talk about at halftime?
I think just taking what they're doing and kind of adjusting for both of us. I know I turned the ball over a good amount of times, so just slowing down a little bit before I take a dribble, looking to see where the double's coming from, looking for the pass out more, and just playing more poised. But I think both of us, we've been doubled before, triple team before, so just settling down into that, we know what to do, and we work on that in practice.
This is for either of you guys. Kentucky has a really good defense, and so do you guys. I don't know how much you were able to watch of yesterday's game. I know Coach Kellogg watched a little bit, but do you guys expect kind of a low-scoring defensive matchup?
You can say that. We watch film, and of course we defend the ball as well. So we're gonna try our best to turn our offense, the people over, Kentucky over, and, get out in offense, of course. But, we saw their defense. We saw how they like to guard. They have length on them, of course. So we're just going to try to play our style of defense first and see if that gets us more offense in transition first.
Greg?
So, Carter, how have you guys become such a good rebounding team when you don't look like you're the longest team in the world, especially front line, but you've out-rebounded most teams you've faced? How have you done that, and how do you do that tomorrow against Kentucky?
I think rebounding really is just a want. So we really want it, even though we may seem undersized a little bit in the post position. I mean, even the guards get a good amount of rebounds. But it's just like wanting extra possessions, wanting to win, and doing those little things for the team that make us better and contribute to the wins. I just feel like we're all a group of dogs, and we'll do whatever it takes to get wins.
Yeah, quote that.
Cody?
Carter, Strack for Kentucky kind of does what Mimi does, and she'll take a mid-range or take a three to kind of spread it out. How do you defend that? Because, like, obviously she can go in the post, too. So how do you defend kind of both of those options?
Definitely just, I mean, it's not going to be just a one-person defensive game with her. So, obviously, we're going to attack it from different angles and just playing up. We know she can hit that mid-range shot. We know she can shoot the three. So, just playing her at every level. But definitely, like, there's other post players that will be on her. It won't just be a thing with me. So, I just have faith in my teammates to help and just be there. She's a great player, so, I mean, I think we're prepared to defend her well.
Greg?
Gia, for you, you guys experienced a quick turnaround, especially at the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah.
So, and you guys are so unique defensively. Those were conference teams, they'd seen you. But when you're facing a team that hasn't seen you, how hard do you think you guys are to prepare for?
How hard we are to prepare for?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to give you different looks. I think we essentially have, like, all pieces of our offense from the 1 to the 5. So, I mean, it can be anybody's game. Like, we had 4 people in double figures yesterday. So, I mean, we share the ball, we spray the ball, we spread the love clearly. So, I mean, it can be anybody's night, but I think tomorrow we're just going to go in and play our style of basketball, how we want to attack the rim, how we want to defend, and I think it will just all come together once we settle in and really get a feel for how Kentucky wants to play us, how they want to guard us, and things like that. But, you know, we never know. It's just one day preparation, so we're going to go in here and just lock in and try to be very intentional on how we want to play this game tomorrow.
Logan?
Corey Moore, Mountaineer Playbook. For both of you guys, how do you guys rely on your seniors from a leadership standpoint in the postseason, and what kind of things are they telling you guys differently from what you might be telling the rest of the team?
I think we all have a pretty big voice when it comes to, like, from the guard position, of course. But, you know, our seniors definitely just keep us kind of motivated and telling us things that we need to hear. And I think we just all have a really good togetherness about us, that we all just try to pick each other up and next play. And, I mean, we just all kind of know how we want to be talked to. So, like, hey, Carter, hey, next play, things like that. We just know how to pick each other up and be together about it. It's never none of those the negative things or things like that. And our coaches do well with just keeping us locked in and stuff like that. So our seniors do a good job with just communicating with us well.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Ladies, thank you.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
Thank you.
Joining us now is West Virginia head coach Mark Kellogg. Coach, if you could start maybe with some general comments about your big win yesterday and then how your team is preparing for tomorrow's second-round matchup against Kentucky.
Yeah, obviously pleased to still be here and advancing in the tournament. That's obviously one of the goals is to continue and play. And, even as a coach, it's just to get to game plan, again, and let them hang around each other and have another meal or two together. I mean, that's what this is a lot about, and you want to extend it as long as you can. I thought the environment yesterday was electric. The atmosphere was awesome. The fan base here is special. Hopefully we can do that and run it back again tomorrow evening. Obviously, Kentucky, very, very good basketball team, very well coached. We'll present some challenges and some different ones, so it's a different game plan that obviously you work hard at now, and it's a quick turnaround, but that's why you have great staff and great people around you. And you're 34, 35 game plans in, so I'm sure we can draw from one of the previous game plans to make it a little bit easier on our kids to play freely and not get too caught up in the game plan. But, certainly excited, looking forward to the opportunity to take the floor one more time and against a quality opponent in Kentucky.
Questions for Coach? We'll start here with Coach Hunter.
Greg Hunter, Blue and Gold News. So as you talked about that and looked at the scout and looked for some comparisons and past opponents, Kentucky's length stands out to you. So have you faced anybody that's similar? How do you combat that?
Yes. I think there's some that we're going to draw from. I'm probably not going to tell you who because I don't want them to go back and look at that. But yeah, I think they're not exactly like anybody, but I think we could probably go to 2 or 3 specific teams, that the game plan might look somewhat similar. But yeah, their length is probably some of their superpower. Obviously, they're talented in other ways too, so I don't want to just get caught up in that. But it's their ability to play with the length, how they utilize their length, is exceptional. But, when you look at all the numbers and analytics and you watch them on film, they're just, there's not a lot of holes. And that's what happens when you get to this stage. We're down to 32 teams, over the last 2 days. Half of the 68, I guess, 64 were eliminated. So you're down to quality competition at this point. That's what you expect. That's what this is about. If you don't play well, you don't execute, you probably don't advance at this point. So they present some problems, and so you're kind of, in some ways, trying to find little areas that you can steal something or pick your poison or play to, maybe an area they're not quite as strong in, and then, for us, trying to find strengths that we have that hopefully we can exploit.
Cody Nesper, Gold Blue Nation. Mark, have you faced anybody like Strack, who's 6'5" and seems like a 3-level scorer?
Yeah, I mean, not maybe all wrapped up into one. I mean, she's a little bit of an exception to the rule, probably with the talent at 6'5" and the ability to play really all over from the three-point line all the way in, and obviously to the Dirk fade. You don't see that a whole lot, so that's very rare. But rebounds at a high rate, plays with a ton of confidence. I mean, Kenny's done a great job developing her and allowing her to play as free as she does. So, there's some that are similar. So again, it's you're going back to some of those game plans where she's not exactly like, but we can maybe play it like we did so-and-so, and then you even have to add some, maybe some details or some attention just because of her skill set.
Down here.
Trent Connor, West Virginia Sports Nation. The team shot pretty well from the free throw line last night, above season average. How much emphasis was put on that in the last week's practice? And did you notice any increase in concentration and focus from the team in yesterday's game?
Well, I hope, I guess. I don't know that we had to do it any differently than you do it as the year progresses, as you get to the late regular season games, then you go through the conference tournament. Possessions are magnified. Free throws, obviously, to answer your question, are magnified. So, I don't want to overhype it or make them feel stressed because they get there. But, yeah, when you get there, you want to take advantage. Those are opportunities to get some free points on the board while the clock stopped and resting and those types of things. So whether it's free throws, finishing layups, these are possession games. And anybody that wins the possession battle, typically it goes in their favor, especially if you're making shots. Kentucky's a phenomenal rebounding team, so you want to either you got to rebound some or find ways to steal them there. You better make the first one because you may not get it back. So just finding quality shots, whether that's the free throw line or anywhere. And I think other than that, we were relaxed and just kind of playing in the flow.
Justin?
Coach Justin Jackson with the Dominion Post. I'm kind of thinking back to last year in the Carolina game. generating offense obviously gets very difficult once you get to this level. I'm kind of wondering, do you expect maybe that same kind of issues against Kentucky, and if it does become this scoring struggle for both teams, how do you kind of battle through that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you expect. I think you go in expecting anything that could happen. It could be that. I think both teams are really good defensively. We do it completely differently, and so this will be kind of strength on strength, I guess. And so we may have the speed or quickness. They may have some length and some other things on us. And so I think you're just trying to find ways. We're going to try to help our group today and obviously tomorrow leading up to it to find ways to get points. It certainly could be, as you alluded to, it may be a defensive struggle. Both offenses may get going, maybe some fatigue defensively that you get slow on some rotations and you get good teams out there that'll make you pay if you do make a mistake and don't rotate correctly. And so those things get exposed as well. But, yeah, I think we'll be prepared for whatever the game presents.
Down here, Quinn.
Quinn Ruby, United to the Moose. So going off of yesterday's game, towards the end of both the first and second quarters, you guys went on those runs. Was there anything said in those timeouts towards the end that kind of just kickstarted things, or was it your team just settling in?
Yeah, no, nothing really said. I mean, we talk, every coach probably does, about finishing quarters, starting quarters, those types of things, whether that means the last 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe it's one possession, I thought we had the crowd at its loudest, when we went up 17 late and then we give up the wrong rotation and they drill the three on us, and we lost that mojo pretty quick because I was ready to run into halftime with that place, being really, really loud. So, no, it's just, feeding off of what we can. We talk about those things. Most coaches probably do, so I don't think that's anything new to us. But, how you end quarters, start them is significant.
Corey, over here.
Corey Moore, Mountaineer Playbook. Coach, it felt like yesterday that Mimi and Cece had their hands on the ball a little bit more at the top of the key than usual. With Kentucky's size, do you expect to play like that again tomorrow? And how do your guards play a little bit differently and contribute differently whenever you're playing like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't want to probably just go completely away from everything we do. We've played some teams with some length, so again, we'll draw off some of those experiences, and I think we've gotten better and more comfortable as the year's gone on playing against, length that they're going to have over us for sure, especially at those three positions. So, I think there's some things we'll ask the guards to do. I think there's some things we'll ask the post to do that will be a little bit differently. But, I mean, I guess you started the question with the ball in CC and Mimi's hands. Like, I don't know that that's going to change because that's something that we like to do, and they can pass and play and operate out of that high post area. So if that's what the game calls for, we'll be ready for that. If the game calls for something else, we'll be prepared to do some other things with the guards as well.
Down here, Greg.
Coach, in your postseason experience over the years, not just here, but going back, your defense is unique. You get this quick turnaround. How's an opponent typically handled that? Someone who's not faced it in the past? I would imagine that presents some problems for an opponent. You may not feel sorry for them, but have you noticed that others have problems on a quick turnaround?
Yeah, no, we won't feel sorry probably. That's at this point. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it started a little bit. Again, I'll go back, and I talked about it last night, but in the Division II level, when you get to the NCAA tournament, one team hosts 8 schools, and you play back-to-back. So you play Friday, Saturday, you get Sunday off, and then you play on Monday. So we always thought that was an advantage the way we played, and that's even part of why we played the way we did, because once we got to that level, it was like, man, you got to play us on a Friday night, and you got to turn around and try to prepare for all of that on a Saturday, and then if you win that one, you get 1 day prep to play 3 games in 4 days. If you're the host site, then you got all sorts of advantages there again. So there's some advantages. I think you get to this level too, though, just like I talked about, we're going to pull off game plans. I mean, Kentucky's played Tennessee's and Ole Misses and lots of teams that probably play somewhat like we do. So I'm sure they're going to pull some game plans from some of those games as well. But yeah, so is it an advantage? Maybe. I guess you'd have to ask them, but from our side, yeah, maybe.
Mark, I asked Mimi last night, but what was going through your head when she was going coast to coast? And then is that the sign that things are going pretty good?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's when you're playing with ultimate confidence, I guess. I mean, she can do that. She's not a bad ball handler. We haven't seen it a ton. Seen it a few times in practice, but it was kind of just I think she was waiting to give it up, and then it was a parting of the seas, so to speak, a little bit, and she if she sees rim, she knows to go to rim. So she continued her route there, and no one really stopped her. And yeah, it looked pretty good, and that's why you're asking about it, because we hadn't seen it a whole lot. But yeah, she has the ability to do that. So I was fine. Even if she had missed, I probably would have been fine.
Back of the room.
Greg Carey with West Virginia Metro News. In regards to Mimi this year, she's had some success in some of these matchups when she's been undersized, maybe giving up a couple inches. What allows for that? I mean, what makes her, I guess, excel when she's giving up 3 and 4 inches in certain post matchups?
Yeah, I think mindset. She probably doesn't realize she's given up, or doesn't want to accept that she's given up 3 or 4 inches. Mimi's just going to play the way she does, I think, is what I've learned about her in the years. She's passionate. She's aggressive. She loves these moments. She loves those matchups. It's why she came here. It's what she talked about, through the recruiting process, was wanting to play at this level. And, yeah, she's a little undersized, and we knew that, but she's very productive in what she does. And so, yeah, she'll be excited for this one, as she has been probably all of these games here lately. And I think you'll probably get the best version of Mimi you can. But, yeah, she's been a great contributor for us. It's what we've needed. Her ability to score in the paint, defensive rebound for us, play with that toughness and that edge that she has, just kind of filters through the rest of the team. Her and Gia in particular, obviously Jordan, we've seen her do it, and Shaw's got that toughness. But to add those two as well has been really, really good for our dynamic.
I want to take a question here on Zoom from Brad Harvey. Brad, go ahead.
Yes, it's Brad Harvey with College Sportscast. Good afternoon, Coach. I want to ask you specifically, you've been asked about Kentucky's size, but specifically about their shot blocking ability. Will that adjust your team's play or game plan at all?
Well, yeah, it's something you have to discuss. TCU's a pretty good shot blocking team, as well. So can be a similar conversation maybe to some of their length at the rim. But yeah, I think Kentucky leads the country in block shots. Maybe they're second, but I think I saw they were first. And so yeah, it's when you get to the rim, what's our decision making? Do we have space? Are they blocking it from the on-ball defender? Are they coming from the help side? They do both. So yeah, I think there's some things we've talked about and that we would like to attack. If that happens, but at the same time, if we're being aggressive and they block a shot, then I'll accept it and we'll move on and play the next possession, whether it's still our ball or maybe they block it and retain possession. We'll sprint back on defense and get ready, but it's certainly something you have to be prepared for.
Down here, Quinn.
So ever since you went to TCU and you guys lost, you haven't lost since. Do you feel like something kind of flipped there? The girls kind of said that they just put it behind them and they learned from their mistakes. Do you kind of feel the same way, or was there something that you adjusted from the coaching side?
Yeah, no, I don't know if any of that's. No, I think we just continue to get better. We thought we played really well in that game, minus those 5 minutes to start the third quarter, and let one slip away. So yeah, I think we were disappointed. We were playing from behind from a regular season title after that, so we knew our margin for error was really small. So in a sense, it became kind of postseason-ish basketball at that standpoint. We knew we were going to continue to play, but if we wanted a piece of the regular season, we probably needed to win them all. When we got to the tournament, we knew we wanted to win the tournament, but we had other goals like to be here. So we've just kind of been, I guess, in kind of postseason mode maybe since then. Outside of that, no, we didn't change a whole lot of what we do. We just maybe have done it a little bit better since then.
Spencer?
Spencer Ripchick, Dominion Post. Kentucky yesterday, they jumped out to like a 32-10 lead in the first quarter. Is that something that you're being cognizant in, that they come out and punch you in the mouth, and how do you kind of avoid that happening?
Yeah, that first quarter won them the game, I think, yesterday. And I don't know did they win the fourth? I don't know if they won the fourth. I think they lost the second and the third quarters, but that was plenty. And that's what can happen this time. If you're not careful and you're not on it, teams go on big runs. We saw that across the tournament. So yeah, I think you've got to be dialed in. I would hope that doesn't happen, and we better be prepared. I think they start well though from the games that I've seen them play. They do have really good first quarters, and they come out and their length and some of the things, the ability to shoot the basketball and spread it. Hassett and Boone can absolutely fill it up. So you have to be careful there too. And you just don't want them to find rhythm early. So I think it'll be on us defensively to make sure that we're trying to take them out of rhythm early. I'm sure they'll be trying to do the same thing to us. But yeah, they got off to a great start, and that settled them really quick.
Any other questions for Coach? Mike, in the back?
Mark, a couple of your players said that not the same opponent, but philosophically or even just like the lineups, Miami similar to Kentucky, and curious how much you agree with that, and in short turnarounds to have that kind of a continuity in game plan, how advantageous is that?
So you're asking, is Miami similar to Kentucky?
Not athletically, I get that, but like, they have the point guard who handles the ball, they have bigs who can shoot, they maybe play a little bit quicker, is what Jordan said, but just they saw some similarities between the two.
I mean, yeah, some probably. It's a different game plan for sure. Different, obviously, size, level of athlete. Now they can shoot it. They don't shoot it as many positions as Miami did. So they had post players that could stretch us. I think you play some of those mid-majors, that's what happens. They don't have as much size as we've seen over the last several months. And so it changes what you do a little bit defensively from a post-player perspective. Obviously, Kentucky has a dynamic point guard, one that leads them, high assists, like Miami, so there would be a comparable there for sure, in what Morgan and the Singer kid did yesterday. So, yeah, there's some parallels, but no, there's a lot that probably are a little bit different. So the game plan will change, but like I said, we've used pieces from a lot of different game plans this year that we'll kind of put together.
Any other questions? Coach, thank you very much and good luck.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items, and then we'll review the protocol for how the practice day press conferences will work. Please turn off or silence your cell phones, and a reminder that flash photography and videography are not permitted. We'll take questions for our student athletes first, followed by the head coach, and we'll open things up with a couple of comments from Coach Brooks first as well. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Emma will come around with the wireless mic. And please state your name and your affiliation. So before questions for our student athletes, Coach Brooks, maybe a reflection on yesterday's big win and then how you're preparing for tomorrow's matchup against West Virginia.
Yeah, obviously we're glad to still be here. Very proud of our kids. I thought we had a tremendous performance yesterday. Wasn't always easy, but we got off to a tremendous start, and they were playing very well together. These two to my left, Tony really controlled the tempo of the basketball game, found our teammates, all the while having a balance of scoring. Amelia hit some really good shots, some really big shots for us to get things open. But I think you have to also credit, Amelia's defense on their leading scorer. She did a tremendous job in that. But it was all around effort. Everyone stepped up and had a really good part in the win. And in order for us to advance, we're going to have the same kind of contribution. So we're looking forward to the opportunities.
All right, questions now for our student athletes, Tony Morgan and Amelia Hassett. We'll start here with Greg.
So both of you, but start with you, Tony. West Virginia's defense gets a lot of attention, obviously, the pressure that they play with. Have you seen others that do that? Tennessee, Mississippi? How difficult is that, especially for a point?
Yeah, playing in the league that we do, the SEC, we've seen a lot of pressing defenses, and West Virginia is no different. They play a really good defensive style of play, but I think we're more than prepared with the season we've played so far, so I think we're ready.
Can you wait? Hold on, just a second, Greg. Get the microphone, please. Thank you.
So, how's that impact you when the pressure comes? Do you have to be a pressure release valve? What's your opportunity, responsibility in those things?
Yeah, we talk about breaking the press. We have to all be there. It's not just one person or two people. It's the whole team. So obviously we've been working on that throughout the whole season and just continuing to do that tomorrow.
Down here.
Quinn Roby, WVU Student Radio. So what were your guys' thoughts with the crowd? It was everybody came in for your guys' game yesterday, and now tomorrow it's going to be another big crowd. What was your guys' thoughts behind the energy?
It's exciting, of course. We love to play in a big crowd, but the SEC has a great crowd every night. It's nothing new for us, and we're definitely ready to play in front of a big crowd. We love it.
Yeah, definitely what Tony said. It's exciting. It's fun. Obviously, it's March. There's going to be people, big crowds kind of everywhere. So, yeah, we've played in front of a big crowd, so we're just excited.
Any other questions for our student athletes? If you could unmute Brad, we'll take Brad Harvey on Zoom. Go ahead, Brad.
Hey, it's Brad with College Sportscast. Just you two are both seniors. Just talk about, the road environment and being in the NCAA tournament and, playing as a senior.
I think, obviously, playing as a senior, it's going to be your last one. So just playing every game like it could be your last. We're hoping to make a big run, but, it's just super fun to just be out there with the girls.
Yeah, what Millie said, you don't want it to be your last this early, so you want to keep playing so you fight like hell every time, and your teammates feel the same way.
Down here.
Nate Skinner for the Daily Athenaeum. Amelia, you guys have to face down low the duo of Mimi Wheeler and Carter McCray. Do you feel the SEC has prepared you for that? Like, you play South Carolina and a lot of those physical teams. Do you feel like you're ready to face that duo?
Yeah, I think the conference we play in definitely prepares us. They have a lot of great post players in the SEC. So I think just playing the schedule that we did definitely will help us prepare us for tomorrow.
Any other questions for our student athletes? All right, ladies, thank you very much. We'll let you go. All right, questions now for Coach Brooks. And we'll start here. Greg, get you the microphone.
Greg Hunter, Blue and Gold News. So follow up what I asked the players in terms of West Virginia's defense. How unique is it? Is it identical to what some of those you face in the SEC, or they all have little nuance differences?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to play a 2-2-1 or a full court man or a 1-2-2. You know, that's what everybody runs, but it's just the attitude of it. And you know, some people will do it occasionally. Some people will, you know, try to throw it on you. They're very consistent with what they're going to do throughout the whole basketball game. So we've played teams that have pressed us the majority of the time. Tennessee comes to mind. You know, even we played in a road game earlier this year. It was a little bit of a different level, obviously, but Marshall, you know, is consistent with their pressing throughout the whole basketball game. So, you know, it's something that you just have to be ready for. You know, I watched the game yesterday, and you know, Miami of Ohio had 15 turnovers, but it felt like 35 turnovers. You know, the turnovers were loud, and they make you take some quick shots sometimes. So we just have to be on guard, you know, the whole game, and we can't let one turnover turn into 2 turnovers, that turns into 3 turnovers, that turns into a bad shot, and then they can get on a run. So they do a very good job with it. They're very good at the pressing part of it. They're very good at understanding where they're going to be, and they play off of each other. So it'll be one of the better presses that we've seen this year. But it's not identical to any press that we've seen, but it's bits and pieces of a lot of them that we've seen.
Go back here to Kevin.
Hi, Coach. Kevin Kinder from the Blue and Gold News. West Virginia's pressure, your height are the two obvious storylines. Is there another aspect of this game that you're kind of seeing that might be critical in the outcome?
No, I mean, I think you hit on the two probably distinct strengths of each team, and we've I'm sure they've used their quickness to their advantage, and we've used our height to our advantage a lot of different ways, whether it's been, you know, breaking a press or you know, defending the lane. And so obviously we're playing on their home court, and they're going to have a tremendous advantage in that manner. But, you know, it's going to be two really good teams, have contrasting styles probably a little bit. And, you know, who's going to will their way to win is, you know, just a matter of playing in March and having the right attitude and being able to understand and deal with anything that happens.
All right, I want to take a question from John Raby in the Associated Press, who's on Zoom. John, go ahead.
Coach, just tell us what folks can expect from Clara. And I don't want you to give away all the secrets, but, you know, she's just everywhere on the court. And just talk about her talents and what she's brought to you this year.
She's unbelievable. And Clara will do whatever Clara has to do to help us win a basketball game. You know, when you have a superstar like Clara, a lot of times, you know, they want the basketball all the time, and she wants the basketball. But you take yesterday's game, for instance, you know, it was evident that they were going to double team her every time she touched it, and she's fine with that as long as she can find her teammates and they can step up and they can score. But she's so much more to us than just scoring. She's our leader on the defensive end. She's one of the best defensive players I've ever coached in my life, and not only just because she can block shots, but she really understands, you know, what's going on, and it's not just, you know, her person. She really understands what's going on with other people. She helps out a lot. She quarterbacks our defense, and she's a tremendous player. So I thought she played an exceptional game yesterday, just because they were really trying to get the ball out of her hands, and she didn't force anything. She's let the game come to her, and it helped us get a really good win.
Brad Harvey has a question on Zoom. If you'll unmute, Brad, and go ahead with your question. Are you there, Brad?
I am. I had to unmute. I'm sorry. Hey, Coach. Just specifically the turnover battle, just in the road environment, how important will that be for you guys tomorrow?
It'll be important, but I don't know if you understand the importance of the turnovers on a stat sheet. We have to make sure that the turnovers don't lead to points. They're the live ball. As I mentioned before, you can't let one turnover turn into two that turns into a bad shot. And you also have to attack it and be smart about it. You know, you don't want to just, you know, pull the ball back out all the time, but you don't always want to take a bad shot, a quick bad shot. So there's a lot to it, and that's why it's so disruptive. But we got to make sure that we're confident with it and looking for advantages to take off of it. And not just trying to retreat from it. And so sometimes you have to attack a press to be successful. But they do a tremendous job. Mark does a hell of a job coaching it. The fact that they still running and pressing, and it's March the 22nd is really impressive. So we're just looking forward to the opportunity.
All right, over here, in the orange.
Phoenix Stevens, Kentucky Sports Radio. Kind of following up on Clara. She's at the top of a lot of teams' scouting reports. Obviously, I imagine that'll be the case with West Virginia. Just as a coach, what do you have to do to kind of put her in the best position possible to succeed?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now is you want to survive in advance. We had plenty of opportunities yesterday to do some other things. But we really kept it vanilla in the second half, and we knew we were going to play off of them double teaming her and working on some other things. When you get a comfortable lead like that, it gives you that opportunity. But we have the ability with her versatility. We can move her around in so many different ways. We can start her out on a perimeter. We can put her in some slot areas, which makes it difficult to do a lot of different things. And obviously, we saved a lot of that stuff for this time of the year. But her versatility allows us to do that. And I still, I work her out every day, and I'll throw everything at her but the kitchen sink to see if she can do it, and she can do it. She might not get it the first 2, 3, 4 reps, but then by that 6th one, she's mastered it, and she has tremendous footwork, and she has footwork of a guard. And so she's learning to continue how to score in different ways, and I'm just excited for her future. And she can go down as one of the best players that I've ever coached in my life, just because of her versatility.
Down here, Quinn.
What makes Jordan Harrison and Sydney Shaw and Gia Cook, those three, what makes it so hard to kind of prepare for them, and what do you kind of see out of them, and what do you expect?
I don't know what adjective I can pick. They're just relentless. Their tenacity is unbelievable. They just keep going. I wonder, as sometimes, do they have an extra battery pack in the back? Just because they just keep going. They keep going, and they play very well off of each other. Very well off of each other. They know how to funnel somebody to a certain area. Then they look to attack. They understand the system exceptionally well. And then you get them on the offensive end, and they know how to create opportunities for themselves. I think I heard on a telecast, I think I was watching, I don't know if it was a championship game in the Big 12 or one of those games in the Big 12, and I was listening, and I heard, they said that Marcus said that this is probably his best offensive team that he's had. Everything's been defense, and those three allow them to, all of them, the post players as well, but they give them options, so it's not just defense. They don't just have to score points off of their defense. They can run their sets, and those kids are crafty, but they play hard. They play as hard as anyone that we've seen all year, and we know it's going to be no different tomorrow, and obviously the crowd is going to be a part of it. We know that, and I think the kids alluded to it. We played at LSU, and it was, 13,000, and we came away with a win. We played at Louisville, and it was 10,000, 11,000. We came away with a win. So our kids, that's what they were probably trying to talk about. We've been in environments before, and this environment it's fun. Yesterday was electric. It was loud. But I think that we prepared for that, and like I told the kids, I said, I don't know how many was it, 13,000 yesterday. Not one of them come on the court. None of them can come on the court, and we just have to really just pay attention to what's on the court.
Great.
All right, Coach, a little different tact here for a sidebar story. Your memories of playing West Virginia as a player here and down there, and then you've coached against them several times. You've had split results, some wins, some losses. So take me back to some of those. Give me your memories. Start with your playing days.
Man, you went way back, huh? You want to know the biggest memory that I have about West Virginia, and it does not matter how many times you experience it, it always catches you off guard, is that damn gun going off. And I'm so glad this is a neutral floor, and they can't do those things. They can't sing the songs that they normally sing to get everything kind of riled up in here. But I remember, I think it may have been my freshman year, and we came in here and we got warned. Everybody was like, "Hey, look, they're going to shoot that gun off. All right, don't let it scare you. Don't let it scare you." and that gun went off, and I mean, we all ducked for cover, and we were like, what the heck is going on in here? So then I came back here as a coach. I'm telling all my kids, hey, they're going to shoot that gun. Do not flinch. And I'm talking, all of a sudden it goes boom, and we were all like flinching. And so that's probably the biggest that. But it is. It's a great atmosphere. And I was on the other end of that too when we were at Virginia Tech, and the big thing at Virginia Tech is they play Inner Sandman, and so we hosted, and they wouldn't let us play Inner Sandman, and we were a little disappointed, and our student section sang it a cappella, so it was really good. So I think that's what they did last night at the end of the game. Tremendous fan support. It's always great, to see people come out and support the women's game. But I have had some history here and been here quite a bit, and I have had mixed results. And so hopefully this one will put us over the top.
Down here. Wait for the mic, please.
Coach, we've talked about the guards here. Now to shift it to the forwards, you have two forwards in Carter McCray and Mimi Wheeler who play consistent energy. What's the message to your forwards as you go into this game? Because rebounding is going to be important. So how do you attack that when you look at those two players in the starting five?
Well, it's like we talk about a lot, and they are terrific. They're terrific players, and they've added an element to this team that gives them some physicality. We've watched them play quite a bit, and they're very physical post players with touch around the basket, and we have to do our best to keep them away from it. Our length, obviously helps us a lot. It's how we've been able to guard, post players throughout. But they're tremendous. They're just relentless. They go after the ball off of the glass. They're the first ones to know if they think they made it or missed it, and they really do a good job of getting second chance opportunities. And they're physical. So the ball's going to go up on the rim. And I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday. We may look finesse, but we're a tough basketball team too. A lot of people talked about JMU's ability to rebound the basketball, and we were like, hey, hello, wait a minute, we're a pretty good rebounding team too, and we went out and proved that yesterday. And it's going to have to be the same thing. We're going to have to go make sure we fight for every rebound, give ourselves a chance, and not give them second chance opportunities, because it's not just guard oriented. Their guards are terrific, but their post players are fantastic as well, and we understand that and we respect that.
Mike?
Mike Casazza from 24 Sports. Kenny, your length that you talked about, the height, they can't hide from that, and you've talked about their press. That's going to be there as well. How much of basketball, never mind March basketball, is just going after the strengths and trying to see if you have a way through it, around it, over it?
Yeah, it's a mindset. Like I said, 1090. You're going to have adversity all throughout, the postseason. JMU had adversity yesterday when we jumped on them. We had a little bit of adversity in the second half when we couldn't, hit a basket. So it's all in how you respond to it. If you allow, like I said, one or two turnovers to turn into 3 or 4, then you can find yourself down. You have to, rebound really quickly from any mistakes that you make. We're not going to go through the game with 0 turnovers. And we probably won't go through the game without 0 blocks, So both teams are going to have to really adjust to what's happening on the game. We know their strength; they know our strength, and we've got to make sure that we want to play our game, and as I'm sure they want to make sure that they are able to play their game. So it's just going to be a will of ways, and we've been playing our way for 30-some games, and they've been playing their way for 30-some games, and it's just going to be a matter of who does it better tomorrow.
Any other questions for Coach Brooks?
All right, thanks,
Coach,
guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.